Hey guys, it's Dan, or aDrive, bringing you guys a deck profile here for the Elestrals Starter Deck Prototype deck test that we've got going on. If you guys didn't know, you have 72 hours to pre-order your starter deck at shopelestrals.com. Feel free to join our Discord server at discord.gg/elestrals. If you haven't seen in the description, I've got the how to play guide, so I would recommend watching that first, and I'm also breaking down each of the 5 decks. We'll also have some gameplay on the channel as well over the coming days for you guys to make your decisions, or just pick up all 5 and then some if you really want to get the full experience and give your thoughts there. But otherwise, I appreciate anyone picking up any. You guys are gonna have a blast. So we're gonna be covering Stratomoth here. This is probably the deck that you're gonna see me run the most. It's the deck that I find to be the most fun because of Stratomoth, but I think you'll see that all 5 of the decks actually play pretty differently. These are prototype cards as an FYI, so the quality is really good, but the final quality will be better, just so you guys know. So when you get them in your hands, just know that. And I just ask that you tell your friends about Elestrals in this 72-hour pre-order. This is a unique opportunity to play this game before Kickstarter, which will be awesome. So exciting times. And we're planning some tournaments and stuff, so get excited. Start practicing with your friends in the Discord server. So starting off, we have Nimbug. Nimbug is very strong because you can play it onto the field on turn 1 and turn it into a Sirikun immediately by expending a Wind Spirit. And Sirikun, as you can see, has 7 defense, and that's going to be one of the higher defense stats in the game for an Elestral that you can get so quickly onto the field. And then the following turn during your draw phase, you can immediately go to Stratomoth. So I would say the Stratomoth deck is the fastest deck and the easiest deck to get your final Ascension on the field, which is Stratomoth. Stratomoth has a tornado-like effect where you can remove runes from the field to the opponent's hand, which can actually be more advantageous than destroying them in many times, or at least somewhat advantageous in that regard. And then you're going to gain an attack for every Nimbug or Sirikun on the field or in the Underworld. So he's an 11-5, but he can very easily become a 13-5 just by following the Ascension line. So this deck really prioritizes getting Nimbug to the field as soon as possible, getting Sirikun right away, and then protecting it for 1 turn. Mare serves as a 5 defense Celestial, which can be very good early game, and when it's used to ascend into Glidesdale, Glidesdale is then protected from being targeted, essentially, which is very, very strong. It can't be targeted or destroyed by opponent's runes, so it's basically immune to those, and it can go up to 12 attack with its effect. P-Gus provides you removal on the field in terms of runes, very strong. And Falacane is the ultimate rune removal, essentially forming a way to either destroy all runes on the field or just your opponent's runes. In terms of rune clearance, Falacane is probably the top card in the game in terms of just being able to destroy everything at once. Exaltair is your Nexus Elestral in the Wind deck, and it allows you to Nexus and then have your opponent expend 2 spirits. So they're essentially losing 10% of their life in 1 Nexus from Exaltair. So some of the other Nexus effects are a little bit more strong. I think that there's a chance that a card like this may get buffed in the future to make it a 3 or a 4 expend, which may make it one of the strongest cards in the game. So you can see how quickly one little tweak like that. But we'll see how the playtest goes. That's what it's for. I think 2 spirits expending can be really strong, though. If you're able to Nexus, turn after turn, you can really burn your opponent down with direct damage. Elechick is essential to Wind decks, being able to search out any 1-spirit Wind Elestral on its normal enchantment, grabbing those Nimbugs very quickly. You'll see this deck really provides a lot of support for Nimbug. Jolten allows you to grab a Stadium, and Sorlet is really going to be your main offensive threat from a 1 enchant cost. Sorlet gives you that 5 attack, allowing you to change position on the field. Very, very strong in that regard. Warmite provides you support by reducing attack and kind of nullifying some of the stronger threats, and Astrabbit gives you that draw power, selective draw power, which is so good in a deck like this where you don't want to draw Stratomoth or Sirikun. Nectar of the Gods provides even more draw power, of course, and then Ambrosia for a little bit of life restoration. Bag of Winds only gives you 2 defense, but it makes it so you cannot be targeted by runes, and I think that alone is incredibly strong. If Aeolus is enchanted and empowered, and you destroy an Elestral in battle, you can target and destroy a rune on the field, so you get even more clearance that way, which is very, very good. From there, you've got Tornado, which gives you a little bit more control in terms of runes, so you got a lot of options there, and then Thunderstorm, even more rune control. Island of Aeolia, which may be one of my favorite cards artwork-wise in the game, just provides you that standard buff in terms of your attack. And then Aeolus, which, by the way, if you haven't watched the other ones, the art will be there for the final prints for you guys. This was ordered a few weeks ago, and we were wrapping up some of these designs. But Aeolus is one of the best searching effects in the game. The only Divine Rune that allows you to add 4 spirits total, 1 on enchantment, 3 on its additional enchantment, and then you can add a 1-spirit Wind Elestral from your deck to your hand, immediately searching your deck for anything you want. Nimbug, Sorlet, Pigus, any situation. Aeolus is a premier divine rune in that regard. So mid to late game may not be as strong, but on turn 1, this is a very, very good card. Circle of the Sky providing Nexus. Resting on your laurels is very good control removal in terms of Elestrals. Pandora's Box stops that search mechanic, which is very nice. And then obviously your spirits are mostly made up of your Lycoris for all those Wind Elestrals. And then of course Zaptor and a couple Vipyro there to sprinkle in a little bit of those Warmites in the end. But I think this deck is going to be really good for people who are maybe new to card games because it'll allow you to get that Stratomoth on the field very, very quickly. And I think some of the effects the deck synergizes very well. I think this is a very synergistic deck, despite the fact that Bag of Winds maybe it's kind of two edges, right? You don't get any attack buff on Bag of Winds, but you gain that incredible immunity to runes. You cannot be targeted by runes. Which is very strong, obviously. So that's your deck profile for Stratomoth. Feel free to check out the other ones in the description below. Watch the How to Play guide, and don't forget to get your pre-orders in. Just 72 hours to pre-order these starter decks, and that's that. So thank you guys. Go to shopelestrals.com. My name is Dan. Let's go by aDrive, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.